Okay. Okay, thanks everyone for joining. I was going to try and share, but I can't remember where the share button is on this. Oh yeah, share screen. Here we go.
And so long, use Zoom.
Yeah, so long since I use Zoom. Okay, so hopefully you can see this. No, this seems to be Larry must have copied this over from the last day, and just for the purposes of the recording, Larry is not able to attend today, and neither is Scott. So anyway, let's get on with it. Right? Okay. So rock status, just something I'll cover myself, and this is something I'm having some frustrations with. Jenkins is a problem. There's two areas in which we're trying to contribute. There was the one I mentioned last week, which was I was trying to build a sample key cloak for Aether in a box, and there was this issue open on Gerrit, and that's still there. Jenkins is still failing. I'm not able to commit, and even if I did force it somehow, it wouldn't release properly. So we need help with that. The other one I wanted to mention was this honest config. So honest config is there in honest project. There was the tiniest of changes made here, just changing the version number, and yet Jenkins, found it failed. And the other problem I have is that my access is broken again. I can't seem to log in. Maybe it's going to do something now, but yeah, it's not running smoothly is the point I wanted to make. So David, can you maybe give us some update on where we are with this?
Yeah. At the moment, crowd was down and has been for about 6 hours. I think we've got it restarted now, but I'm just checking on that. That would indicate any problems today. It does not address the authentication synchronization issues that had been bugging us for the past week. But looking into all the logs, at least we got some pointers to look at that some more. So, but the issue for today, I'm hoping, is anyway. Joy and I are looking at it. I just did a restart that should do something, but we'll see. But yes, crowd is down today and is not going to be accessible until we get it back up and running. Okay.
So yeah, I mean, this is something that's kind of blocking us, even at an Intel level now. There are issues, items we fix, and we wanted to move on with them, and we really need this to work now. Okay, let's see then.
On the same line, I think our two peers are stuck. SD Core Helm charts, and one is in Aether in a box.
Yep.
Right.
Those are the ones that are failing on the channel dying, correct?
The one, I think Ankur had sent one email, and today I had added one more there. Yeah.
Yeah, those are not crowd related. Those are.
Okay.
Okay, good. Crowd seems to be up now.
Okay. Well, that's something.
An issue. Okay. I'll keep looking at the others.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I don't know how we escalate it. If it isn't fixed by the end of this week, do we have an action plan on how we escalate it, or get help from somewhere else?
Basically it would be get help from somewhere else if I can't do it.
Okay.
Where else can we get help?
Jenkins support tools. Go to CloudBees and set up a support network for it. We don't currently have full support, but we can request some special access if I can't get anybody on the community to assist.
So if
Okay.
I mean, it sounds like we still don't know root cause,
Correct.
correct? Yeah. Mhm.
Just, yeah, okay. Sorry, I just want to change my headphones here. Just a second. Hopefully you can still hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
I'm just reading this
Okay.
note, but this says Sean and many others access to Jenkins is broken. So it's not uniform? Not everybody has lost access?
Well, I think if crowd was down, that would have explained my one, but I know there are several other people weren't able to log in over like this is a week ago, and there still seems to be some like you remember we had this problem like 2 or 3 weeks ago, David, and you fixed it for me, but I don't think it fixed it for everybody.
The initial problem is many people's access were brought in through a single group that got cleaned up, and so we moved them to other groups. And right now, the Jenkins and crowd synchronization of users seems to be busted, and sporadic people can't get access based on their groups. I want to say Anchor and Tolly and one other person, 3 people that I'm aware of. And that's into the CLA sync up that we're both Joy and I are wrestling with, because there's also similar problems happening in Volta somewhat.
Right. And when I say, yeah, so there's really 2 problems going on here. One is to do with crowd groups is causing problems for some people.
I believe the group membership has been cleaned up. The problem is that Jenkins is not recognizing the groups. So, minor distinction, but it's not that they're in the wrong groups now. It's that the groups they're in are not being recognized.
Okay. Jenkins recognition of crowd groups.
Right.
Right. Okay. So then other issue, and that's what I mean by build failing.
Many of the build failures that were referenced earlier are failing due to a connection channel timeout, which appears related to Java. However, we're still using the same version of Java that we had been recently, so I don't know why they're showing up now. I do want to point out that we are significantly behind. We're still running Java 8 on pretty much everything when it's been paid for over a year. And one of the things we need to do is get everybody up and playing on Java 11, but that's a tedious process.
Yeah, that's a big change. And when you say Java there, that's the Jenkins running on Java is the Java.
Yeah, both controllers and agents.
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay.
That's one of the primary issue right now is that Aether, for instance, is currently running on the latest version of Jenkins that's possible to run with Java 8, but there's 3 more LTS versions beyond the one we're at, but we can't go to those until all the agents go to Java 11 as well.
Right. Yeah, I'm not familiar with the architecture of Jenkins, but yeah, so I'm going to say it needs to be updated to Java 11 at least.
Right.
And I know they're well past that 11 as being the latest now.
Well, latest is 17, but well, it's actually but we're still at Java.
Java 8
can
was
file
2014.
Let me update the Aether dev channel with current prospects and what needs to happen next stages. That just gives everybody a quick update, but you'll be able to see that next hour or 2.
That would be great.
what we'll
Yeah,
need to do.
yeah. That would be great. Just to keep people updated and like I mean, for me at least, I'd like to see more visibility into status updates on it, and whether that's on Slack or whether it's on a shared doc or whatever. And I know like that kind of status updates can be an overhead in itself, but I think it is worthwhile because at least it allows us to see where things are, and
Yeah,
we can plan around it.
Perfectly believe that should be more visible. I'm happy to do it in either one that makes most sense to this team. What would people prefer?
Yeah, so does anyone have a preference on this?
Slack is better because most of the other people will also get to know Slack.
Yeah, I'd agree. Yeah,
Okay. Ether dev.
yeah,
Yeah.
Ether dev sounds good. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So now that I've got all that off my chest, maybe we should move on to SD Core. So, AJ, did you have, or Badri, did you have any update on this?
Yeah, we did a few Helm chart changes, and while testing, we did find some change in the Aether in a box default override. And both these changes, as we said, like stuck because of most likely this Java issue, right? So we are not able to merge it. And so, and we have made good progress on the PPTs for the Techinar and as well as the release notes draft. Right, so those
Right.
things are ready. Yeah, and on the security thing, we are still in discussion with the internal teams within the Intel to get approval from them.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's that's for SD Core. Is that going to
Yeah.
have to go through SDLE?
Yeah, and there's some like complications. Like yeah, I mean, we are trying to see if we can avoid it,
Right.
and that's what is. Yeah, that's what is discussion is in progress, and it's going from one person to other, right?
I see.
Ankur has been driving it internally, and now, as of yesterday, it is gone. The control has gone to some other person now. Right? So, yeah.
Yes, I see. Okay. So it's not concluded yet as to whether it will or not. Okay, and yeah. Okay. And the reason for doing that is to use SD Core within Intel. I mean, that's probably the only reason for it, is it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how far I can tell in this meeting, but
Sure.
yeah, I mean, the since last year, right, when most of the engineers became part of Intel, right, we were contributing to SD Core, right? And at some point in time, we were asked to follow the process strictly, right, and can't
I
commit any
see.
code. So we do have some internal code commits available with us, and we are trying to see like what is the best process for us to follow to make sure those commits come into the public domain, right? So
yeah, I know. I mean, the reason I'm asking is it's a concern for us with Rock as well.
yeah, I think then
Rock.
Sean, we should sync up. I can probably tell you like what mistakes we have done. Maybe I can help you.
Yeah,
If
that
you
would
guys
be
are not
great.
already in touch with this DLT. Okay.
Yeah, that would be great. Let's do that offline. Okay. Okay, any other points of discussion on SD Core?
Yeah, there are some folks who have been using SD Core, raising the request queries on the Slack, but unfortunately they're sending the unicast messages. So I'm working with one person from CPQD and other is from the Purdue University, right? They're using
Right.
SD Core for the multiple instances of the AMF and SMF. and they're trying to get some clarification or some help in terms of how to configure those things. Yeah.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're
But
working
yeah,
on.
those are like, yeah, unicast messages not on the Aether day. I mean,
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So let's move on to this item, the QA from Pune. So who wants to give an update on this?
Yeah, I'll take this up. Yeah.
Sagar, is
So
it? Okay.
this is Kunal.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, it's just I can't see the names. So please go ahead. Thanks.
Yeah. So I'll start with inventorizing automated tests, and we had a few action items on this from last TST. So we have pruned 1.6 jobs, and we are keeping 2.0 jobs because there are no 2.1 jobs. I mean, from the from the Jenkins, we have looked into it, and we have seen that if we remove all the 2.0 jobs, we will be, I mean, uh, we might not have anything on the 2.1 side.
Right.
So we
That
are
makes sense. Yeah, that's
mhm.
good.
Yeah, so we are baselining 2.0 jobs to modify and also update, or I mean, adding a few jobs for 2.1. So we are analyzing how much effort is going to be there, and what all changes would be required. So this one is in progress right now. We'll share an update once this activity is done. We have also updated the summary document and detailed test case document that we shared in the last TST with all the members. So we got a few comments from Larry. We have updated the documents with those comments, and if anyone have any other comment or maybe a feedback, we can incorporate those changes as well.
Right. And here you're probably going to trim out the 1.6 one here.
Yeah. So
Okay.
for GUI, we do see only one job, which is running on 1.6. So that is why we have kept this job.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, for GUI, we only have a 1.6 job running. There on Jenkins, but we do not find. We could not find a job for 2.0. So that is why we are. For now we are keeping it, but yeah.
Yeah,
We'll need
I
to.
think it probably is better to keep it. No, I'm not sure that the GUI tests were updated for the 2.0 model. They might have been just, that they were too high maintenance or something like this, and they didn't complete those tests or something. Yeah, I think it could be dropped. But yeah, let's not just drop it now.
Right.
Okay, and the detailed test case document is also in Google. Oh yeah, so that you have to request access to it. Can you send, or can you grant access in bulk to the people on this Aether TST?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay. Okay, and let's see. As far as the rest of it is concerned, then.
Yeah. So all the test case. Earlier we wanted to see how many test cases or jobs are running on AIAB, and what all are working on running on full cluster. So we I mean, we went through all those jobs and we were able to find out that all are running on AIAB. So there are no full cluster test cases or jobs running on Jenkins as of now.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I was going to say, just to clarify, on Jenkins. Is that
Yeah,
what you mean?
right.
Okay.
Right. So
Sorry,
moving on
and
to 9.
can I just ask about this AIAB one? Is who's actually running it, and is this like on a
mean-
schedule basis or something, or how's it work?
Yeah, these are not scheduled right now. They are, I mean, on Jenkins, they are. We could find these jobs running. I mean, written only on AIAB. It is
Oh, I see.
deploying AIAB, and then it is. I mean,
Right. Okay. Yeah. I get you. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead then. Kind of.
yeah. Moving on to 900 UE tests, we have reproduced it in our Aether Pune lab for 2.0. We are awaiting a fix, and I mean, if anyone can share the timelines on it, that would be really helpful for us.
And that's a fix for what, SD core?
For 900 UE issue that is reported by Kajit.
Oh, I see. Was this a problem in Rock or SD core, or do you know where it, or was it to do with a simulator or something?
So here we are trying to onboard around 900 UEs, and when we try to do it using API, we do see a failure around 800 plus subscribers. So that is something which is reported by Kajit, I think.
I see.
And
Was this the
Yeah.
Rock atomic problem?
Yeah, that was the whole atomics problem with doing the
Oh, I
Rock
see.
API calls.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. So the answer to that is waiting on Jenkins. So we have a fix. We're trying to release honest config and release Aether Rock umbrella in 2.1, and all of that's dependent on Jenkins at this stage.
So will it be, fixed on 2.0 or it will be
2.1.
available on 2.1 and latest as well?
2.1 and latest only. We won't be backporting
Okay.
any fixes to 2.0.
So actually,
So-
Kajit is using 2.0. So, I mean,
So just from a philosophical perspective, are we always going to have to be on the bleeding edge to get a fix?
Well, hang on a minute. Okay, so what I should say is that there's Ether 2.1, and then there's models for the Ether 2.1 runtime, I would say, right? And then there's the models for Ether 2.1 and 2.0. So what I'm saying is we're fixing the runtime for 2.1. Now the runtime for 2.1 can handle the 2.0 and 2.1 models. So what that means is you could, and I should spell this out here in this too. I'm going to say runtime, and what I'm going to say is both the 2.1 runtime will 2.0 and 2.1 model. So the what this allows you to do is update gradually. Once you replace the runtime, you can still keep your 2.0 models and then upgrade your ROC enterprises over time to become 2.1 model enterprises. So I hope that helps people, because that means that you will still be able to run the 2.0 configurations you had, even with a 2.1 runtime.
Yeah, so we won't have to upgrade all 50 components or whatever, but we'd have to we'd have to upgrade the runtime to 2.1 and then at least the piece that's broken to 2.1, whatever it was.
Yeah. So Dan, I think we already did that. Already we upgraded that to mixed runtime.
Yeah, I understand. I'm just having a philosophical discussion because that is helpful that at least the components are backwards compatible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it allows you to take a staged approach to an update. You update the runtime, but you can still keep your old configuration and then update your configuration as a second stage, and gradually as well. Okay.
Understood. Okay.
I understood. Yeah. So moving on to Ether on ramp, we had a discussion with Larry. We have, we have filed a few bugs, but when we discussed with Larry, he told me that the documentation that we are referring to is the older one. So he has shared latest document with us, and we have updated our Jenkins job as per the new docs, and the deployment is tested successfully. And,
Right.
we are using a local Jenkins as of now because DAF is looking into looking into an issue where Jenkins is invoked. Where Jenkins can invoke Mumbai private agents from I think Oregon region. So that is in progress. So that is why we are using a local Jenkins here.
Okay.
We're using the AWS Mumbai region for connectivity and performance on the test end, and need to get the AWS guys talking together correctly. It hasn't happened yet.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't quite get that point. And that's the reason that you're using the local Jenkins.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
We're crossing AWS regions and time zones and all that jazz. So we want to keep things local and not use public IPs. So anyway.
I see. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I had to really just spell it out in my own simple terms.
No problem. It's accurate what you're saying.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Okay, Kunal.
Yeah. So sharing an update on Ether QA Pune lab. We have a 4G node be available in our lab. We are using IP access node be here. And regarding 5G G-Node B procurement, that is in discussion with different vendors. We are initially we are talking to Sercom and Mavenar for the same, so that we could procure their G-Node B and test it with our AIB.
Right.
So we have also tested 900 UE bug in reproduced 900 UE bug in our Ether QA Pune lab, and we are running a set of APIs using Postman and Newman on our local lab. So other than that, we have our we have a physical. We have tested a configuration where physical phone and eNote B would be in the QA Ether QA lab, and we have SD core in AWS. So we have tested and attached between them, and that was successful. So that setup is also tested here. In case we need that kind of configuration.
Which version of SD core would that, is that the latest, or is it the, which one is it related to?
Yeah, this one is latest.
Right. Okay. And that's a 4G eNote B. Yeah, because it's eNote
Yes.
B. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we have also, I mean, we are also finalizing a virtualization platform and dedicated bandwidth. I mean, what all bandwidth would be required and stuff like that with our IT team. So that we can finalize on a virtualization platform to use. I mean, that we are going to use for creating machines and VMs for the testing purpose. So that is in progress, and we are also working with our vendors to get an experimental license. Basically, we earlier had a experimental license, but yeah, the renewal is in progress, and soon we have already shared the PO, and that is already there. So we are expecting some updates on that as well. So we are waiting for the vendor to update us regarding the renewals.
And is
So
that
we are
yes.
yes.
I was going to say, is that in relation to 5G frequencies or something?
So this is, we are expecting a license which can, take care of 4G and 5G both.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So yeah, so this would be a non-radiating license. So this is usually, taken care of by one of our vendor, and they are in discussion with government body.
Yeah. Okay.
So RPI and dongle, I think Taiman and Larry are taking care of it. They are looking into it. How procurement is going to be done, and and also for NG40 license renewal, Taiman is working on it, so that because a lot of test cases are dependent on NG40, so we are discussing it with them to get a renewal on our licenses.
Well, it's a little worse than that, is that we're getting no response from them at all. And it looks like NG4T was acquired by Viavi, and all the contacts that we've had at NG4T are not being responsive. So now I think I'm going to have to go in cold to Viavi. So it's, increasing the risk. This is presumably an older tool. I don't know if it's still supported, if we can get a copy of it. And the vast majority of automated test cases are using this tool. So, we are in a kind of somewhat risky position right now, but I'm hoping that we can still get a copy of this tool working somehow.
Okay. Thanks, Taiwan. Yeah. Okay.
And then Taiwan, it's not just about getting the one-time copyright. I think the way their license used to work is that every month we had to renew it.
Is that right?
Yeah. And then every time we change VMs, we have to go and take the license. So it was, yeah, it's a little difficult. Yeah.
You wouldn't happen to have a contact there, or a good contact, would you, Ajay?
We had Mike, I think, right? We had his Skype contact. That's what was used by most of the XONF people. There was nothing else except Skype Messenger. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Martin was.
Yeah, Martin. Yeah, right, Martin. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I found an email for him, but he's been responsive, but I have not tried the Skype directly. And you're saying Skype was the only place he was responsive?
He used to send faster response on the Skype. I never sent him any email, I guess. Yeah, but I think only place where he used to use email is like rarely sharing some licenses. Otherwise, mostly Skype. Yeah.
If you have a thread, you could just contact him on. And in Skype, you were doing voice calls with him or text messages?
Oh, only messages. Yeah.
Ajay, would you mind trying a follow up with him, or maybe introducing him to me? See if you can get him. Maybe that'll also go to I don't know if he's left the company and perhaps his corporate email's not working.
I see.
That would be
Okay. I'll check with him. Yeah.
That would be terrific. That might help, and having some continuity might help him be more responsive.
Yeah. Okay.
Very good. Okay, let's see then. Does anyone else have any other issues you wanted to give updates on today? I apologize for my dog barking.
So we can't hear it.
Good. Okay.
Skype's got a filter. Or Skype Zoom.
Anti-dog filter.
Yeah.
Okay. If nobody else has any other issues or items they want to bring up, we could possibly wrap it up there.
So let me just, all this work in the Pune QA lab is really intended to be able to test, code that's coming in. And it sounds like Intel is now queued up and stuck on some Jenkins problems to get some code checked in. But it feels like as reading this Pune lab kind of summary, we're not kind of capturing that high level connecting the dots, getting these new contributions in, and then kind of doing a full regression, or as close to a full regression as we can do. Am I making sense? And are there any additional steps we can take to try to help close the loop?
I think is the problem that Jenkins is on. I mean, where is the Jenkins machinery hosted at present? I don't think it's on the. I'm actually not sure where it is. Is it on AWS?
Yes,
Right.
it's in AWS in one of our accounts, and the vast majority of the Jenkins work happens either on the Jenkins server, and then the agents that get pulled up to do the build jobs are also EC2 agents.
Right. And your point was they're all in the probably US West or East West, I guess.
Currently, we use the Oregon site, but yeah, pretty much
Yeah.
everything is in that one site. I'm hoping
Right.
Well, we'll see. I've been hoping to resolve this about for a week and a half now. So.
Yeah. And then, I mean, Timon, just to address what you were saying, I mean, I guess it's not until a release is done of Aether Rock Umbrella or SD Core that it's tried out on the Pune lab. Then I guess, I mean, they're not doing it with every build or every PR. It's only when a new release is made, I guess, that they will try and reproduce, say, the 900 UE bug or something like that.
I would say that's actually for this TST to help decide and guide on this. My personal vision is that they should be testing some of the intermediate states, and that this lab will ultimately be declaring a release valid, and so they need to be testing things before it's I mean, who else is declaring a release is valid, right?
Yeah. So I mean, when we release it from engineering, I mean, it's not fully released at that stage. It's really just in testing, and that's when it goes to here, I guess, to the Pune lab.
Yeah, that's how I would envision this working.
Right.
So I think there are a couple of pieces. So there's the Jenkins piece, and as Daph was saying, the current Jenkins instance is apparently in Oregon. There actually are 2 other Jenkins instances, right? I mean, Daph is trying to get one up that's going to be running out of Mumbai.
Yeah.
That will presumably become the master instance, if I understand correctly, trying to build a clean instance from the ground up. Is that right? That's the intent?
Yes, but that's a much more long-term plan.
Well, then even if that's long-term, then short-term, let's imagine we have that.
Short-term is getting the agents up in Mumbai. There's a difference between having the controller and the agents. Either way, think of the master Jenkins server just queues up the bills and then sends them off to run somewhere. Right now, running them in Mumbai for the Pune lab is the most efficient and cleanest debuggable environment, and that's what we're trying to get up. Eventually, we're going to be building a very clean Jenkins server from scratch, rather than the ones that we have that have been organic over the past 4 or 5 years, just so that we're clean again. But that's a longer term plan. And the short term plan is to get Mumbai agents running in the Mumbai region.
Okay, I think I understand that, but there is also now, I mean, in the Pune lab right now, they have their own Jenkins master and agents as well as a short term, just because the AWS instances are not available yet. So we really have these sort of 3 different threads, if I understand it correctly. So that's the Jenkins, part of the question, Sean. Then the other part of the question is, the test cases themselves, and we were looking at an inventory of the test cases and that they're all 2.0 test cases, and a number of test cases are dependent on NG4T, and that we need to get those running in 1 or more of these Jenkins instances to be able to validate the current code and declare release.
Mm-hmm. So what I would say about the 2.0 jobs, when we released Aether 2.1 and said, I think it was back in January of this year, we went and we wrote 2.1 Aether system tests. I think the problem here is that nobody's running those yet, and that's what this is about. The 2.0 jobs are still there. And like I said, we still have 2.0 models, so it's still valid to keep running those 2.0 jobs, but we should be running 2.1 jobs as well. And the tests are there, they're written, and there's no reason not to run them.
So when you say they're there, I'm not sure that the GS Lab team picked those up in their inventory. Correct me if I'm
Are
wrong.
those in the standard system or are they in private environments?
No, they're in this Aether system test repo.
Okay.
Hey, just one update, Timon. I could able to reach Martin, and he shared his email address. And I briefly asked him. He said there is no change in the relation, right? So maybe I think probably you can try to reach out to him now.
All right, very good. If you'd maybe just start a thread, it's wonderful that he was responsive.
Yeah.
Forward that to me. That's a good sign, and I think it's been helpful that the continuity here. You're getting a response. I've been unable to get a response for 2 weeks. So
maybe it's a different email address. I think he has changed that email address, and then you use that address now. Yeah.
Okay. Well, good. Well, if I can keep you CC'd on this long enough to kind of get this moving and get a new kind of thread going with him, that would be great. And thank you very much for doing the outreach. That's a big step forward.
Okay, so just to get back to here, yeah. So it is quite possible that GS Labs have not picked up on the 2.1 tests in Aether system tests. But really, that's what they need to do and start calling those jobs, and so include those in the test plan.
So, Sean, do you mean to say that the 2.1 jobs are in the Aether system tests repo?
Yes.
Okay. let us double check that.
Yeah,
Let's do that.
I must have a spelling mistake here. I was just trying to browse the repo. I don't know why I can't see it. I think I am signed in. I don't know, I must be looking in the wrong place. Yeah, that's very strange. I don't understand where the tests have gone. Maybe I'm,
This is something different. I'm getting 0 in empty repository, which doesn't make any sense at all for Ether system.
oh, yeah,
Another Garrett issue.
that's,
All right.
that's weird.
What the hell?
Yeah,
Well, weren't
Let
we
me
also
just-
seeing DNS problems with Garrett.opencore.org even? And
Yes.
I heard on the Volta front there were maybe some weirdnesses with Garrett this morning as well. Maybe don't quote me on.
Part of the yeah. We need to figure it out because a lot of problems that were reported today would be associated with crowd.
right. Yeah, I would think so.
Why don't we have? Yeah, see, those are fine. I'm getting other repositories that are showing up correct. But system test is not showing.
Yeah.
Sean, I believe Ether system test is for is a test repository, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
but
I mean, not sure about the jobs if jobs are
Right. Yeah,
placed
no,
there.
the jobs aren't specified there, that's true. But the jobs would call these. I mean, so I think this is system testing, this section here. So what I was referring to is these ROC API tests, just to make sure we're talking about the same thing. This is the one that I'm talking about. You can see there they're pulled from Ether system tests and they go through, you know, the ROC use cases. And yeah, like I said, I don't think there's 2.1 GUI tests, but there are 2.1 API tests. So just to go back to here.
okay.
Yeah, maybe what you're talking about, these jobs, is not only about ROC. I mean, maybe it's the more complete than that.
Well, we may have confusion over whether we're referring to jobs that are labeled 2.1 or jobs that are used in 2.1.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So let me just take this out then, because I think I'm only adding confusion to the thing. I'm not up to speed on where these 2.1 jobs are, or if they're written at all, or if you're going to have to go and write those. So this point still stands, I guess, then, does it?
So I'm sorry, so there is an Ether ROC API 2.1.0-test-2.1. So that's both labeled 2.1 and Insight and was run an hour ago. We got somebody, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd have to look into it in more detail. I can't say, and I don't want to add more confusion. Okay. So, did that kind of answer your question, Timon, or was there more you wanted to drill deeper on that question about, you know, when are these things picked up in the Pune lab?
I think that answers
Sounds
my
like it.
question. for right now, but, that's really what
Yeah.
we could be looking to do, is sort of a closed loop system here where these,
Mm.
pull requests are making it in and getting test coverage, and that we're expanding the test coverage in the Pune lab.
Yeah, yeah, and that it would be a low maintenance without any manual intervention needed to do that.
Yes, ultimately, for sure.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Were there any other points anyone wanted to raise?
I want to say thank you, Sean, for stepping in today.
No problem, Timon. It's an honor. Step into the shoes of Larry. Very good.
All right, good seeing everyone.
Okay, we'll leave it at that then. And thanks everybody for attending. And the recording is in the cloud if you need to get it. Very good. Thanks everyone.
Have a good day.